Salesforce Revenue Cloud with the basics. These 4 questions we asked, we wanted to learn and master is how to add a customer, how to add a product, how to create an order, and how to issue an invoice. So just letting you know the architecture of revenue platform, which is powered by Agentforce, because now it has been renamed as Agentforce Revenue Management. So we have these components. There's catalog, which has product catalog and price management, CPQ, which is configure, price, quote, contracts, orders, assets, and billing. And this sits on top of Salesforce platform. And this is the main high-level view of the architecture of the Agentforce Revenue Management. This is another view of the architecture. And we see Agentforce Revenue sitting on top of Salesforce platform with all these main components, or these are objects, basically, like the catalog, contracts, orders, etc. Those are the components of. And how this Agentforce Revenue Management is different from CPQ, the one that was prior to Revenue Management. How is it different from CPQ? So these are the main points of difference. Before, CPQ was a managed package. I don't know how many of you, but I have worked with CPQ, and I found it complex. So this one is definitely an amazing upgrade. So it was a managed package. It's point solution for direct sales, rigid application and logic, limited scale, basic analytics, and basic usage billing. But now, with Agentforce Revenue Management, we have Salesforce platform and Agentforce included in it, omni-channel and integrated, extensible, flexible, API first, enterprise scale. It's AI-infused actions, dashboards, and analytics, digital volley, and advanced billing. So we can watch this video as an introduction to the Agentforce Management. I'll have to share this tab. And yeah, this is it.
Introduction to Revenue Cloud. Revenue Cloud is a unified suite for organizations to manage customer interactions, from initial engagement to post-sales support and revenue generation. Revenue Cloud includes these solutions. Product Catalog and Pricing is a centralized platform for managing product information and custom pricing. It offers headless APIs, making it easy to integrate with third-party applications. With our robust user interface, you can efficiently manage product data and pricing, while our
So this is 5-minute long video, and I will instead jump over to the rest of my slides. And I will share the slide so you can always see the video and in your own time and digest it at your own pace. So, right. So I'll just share the regular tab again. So this is what we are tackling. Create a product, create a bundle product, and create usage-based products. So I will give it over to Gomati to now walk us through create a product and create a bundle product. She will give a beginner's view, so you will be able to understand how to start with it and how to answer that one basic question that we started off with. So Gomati, can you please take it over?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Shiba and Sunil and the team for giving me the opportunity today to share. And this is Gomati. I'm also Salesforce certified admin, app builder, and platform developer. Right now, gaining hands-on experience on Revenue Cloud along with Shriba. Thank you for that as well. Let me share the screen quickly. Can you able to see my screen, Shriba?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Today, we will see how this Agentforce Revenue Management enables organizations to manage wide range of products and pricing models within a single platform. Okay, like nowadays, modern businesses often need flexibility to support different revenue strategies, like from traditional fixed rate pricing to usage-based and tiered-based pricing models. Okay, now let's see how we can do that in the Agentforce Revenue Management. It all starts with products. Here, revenue management actually allow us to create two type of products. Like it offers two type of products, which is simple and bundle. Both of these simple and bundle products can be static or configurable. So depends on our need. Okay, let me show you an example how a simple product can be created. Like this is an example of a simple static product. Just like when we create any products, right? We give products name and code and everything along with the two important fields which determine the type of the products. So here, whenever we create a new product here, it automatically gets assigned as a simple product. So we don't have to do anything for this example here for product type. But since it's a static product, we have to select this not allowed in the configuration during sale. Once we create the product like in this way, after that we can create product selling model option and a price book entry for that. This is the beauty about revenue management. Here for a one product, we can create many product selling model options. Means, for example, this cooling fan, if a company is selling this cooling fan for one time, we can create one product selling model option. And at the same time, if they are renting this fan also on a monthly basis or something, then we can create another product selling model option here with the term based. So what it means is we don't have to create multiple entry in the product, but at the same, it is very efficient way. But every product model option, we need to have a respective price book entry. So that is how we set it up here. And then next is like, this is an example for bundle products. When it comes to bundle, again, we just have to select the product type as bundle. Once that is the differentiator between simple and bundle. But once we create a product as a bundle type, then you will see the structure under the structure tab. You can see the logical structure of the bundle. So here you have an option. Plus, through this, we can create new categories in this bundle. And in every category also from this, in this UI itself, we will be able to add new products into the bundle. Here, this solid line shows the product is required products in this section. And the dotted one, it's a not required products, okay? So this is how we can set up the bundle products. And next we can see how we can do for configurable product. In that way, for that, for here, I'm taking an example of a bundle product, which we can set it up as a configurable. So here I select a bundle type as well as the configuration configured during sale, we should select as allowed. Once we do that, when we add that product in the quote, you will have this option of configure here. So you will see the option of configure here. So once you see, then next here, once you click that configure option, you will have this pop-up window opens up with all the choices in that bundle. So this is when the configuration rule, validation rule, and exclusion rule and requirement rule, all of them play in the back so that it makes sure that users select the right compatible products within this bundle also. Okay, so once we select and submit the bundle, we can order the products in this way. This is how we can configure a product in the code. Okay, next comes, so whenever we create new product or update anything in the product, like adding an attribute or doing some changes in the product. Anytime we need to rebuild the index. This is how we can we can make those updates available to the end user. For that, all we have to do, there is an app called Product Catalog Management. So through that, you can rebuild the index by clicking the index and search configuration and rebuild index, and then select the partial index, because we wanted to do is the updating those changes, right? So once we do that, all the changes will be replicated in the for the end user. And the next comes price management. And in the there is a price management app available in the Revenue Cloud Revenue Management. And here, this 4 components: price book, pricing procedures, price adjustment schedules, and products. These are the 4 components which help us to define and define and set up the prices as per our needs. So here, price book, as we all know, price book have a entry for every product and its base price, right? And the next one is this pricing procedure and price adjustment schedules. They work together. So you can say the price adjustment schedules as like a rule book, and the pricing procedure is an engine which use this rule book to calculate the discounts for the final price. Okay, and the products also you can access from this slide and from this window. And then next, we'll take this example of bulk order discount to drive corporate and educational sales with tiered volume pricing. For when a customer order 100 to 299 laptops, we wanted to apply 10% discount. And when it is 300 plus laptops, we wanted to apply 25% discount. Let's see how we can implement in the price management. Okay. So for that, first we need to set up the price adjustment schedule. So in that main 2 things is like, here we are setting up the schedule type as volume, since we are going to provide the discount based on volume. And the adjustment method is range, because it's a 2-tier type, right? So for that reason, we select these 2 options. And next, once we do that, and we have to set up the price adjustment tiers here. So we need to set up 2 price adjustment tiers. One is with the lower bound of 100 to 299. We are going to apply 10%. That's what we are setting up here. The next tier is going to be 300 is the lower bound. Anything above 300, we are going to apply 25% discount. So this is what going to act like a rule book for the engine, which is like so once we set up all this thing, then we can do the pricing procedure. This pricing procedure, this is how we can build the pricing procedure. It's in a outline, it looks like a flow structure, but it works a little different than flow structure. Here also we are adding, but it looks like that one. We are adding a volume discount element, so that because we are going to apply discount based on volume. So we need to set up certain values. Then this pricing procedure will calculate all those discounts and apply it in the code. Let me show you. And then before that, I like to tell one thing is like, whenever we make any changes in the price, we need to sync those changes. So for that, we have to sync that through Salesforce pricing setup. There is a sync option. Once you do that, it takes few minutes, but it syncs even if you change anything in the price book or any other time, all those updates will be applicable for the end user. So once we sync it, here is the example which when I added 150 laptop, the discount is already applied as a 10%. So in the same time, when I change the quantity into 300, the volume discount became 25%. This is how it automatically calculates to make it very easy for the salespeople, right? And the next comes, this is in today's economy, the consumption-based businesses are growing also. So rate management is the dedicated engine within Agentforce Revenue Management, which is designed to handle this with this rate cards, rating procedures, usage resources, and everything. So I have just provided a few Trailhead module links here. If at all you wanted to have a hands-on experience in any of the discussed topics, these are the best links actually. With that, thank you.
Thank you, Gomati. That was amazing. That's great. Thank you. So, yeah, with that, let me just share screen of my. Yeah, so Gomti just went through this screen, how to create a product, how to create a bundle product with Salesforce Revenue Lifecycle Management and the usage-based products. And then the other part is setting up of Revenue Cloud. So I have added these links which talk about how to set up the Revenue Cloud from scratch. Then I'll share this slide deck with you. You'll have the access to all these links, and you will be able to easily access and start off in Revenue Cloud, accessing these links. And then order to invoice. This is a 10-minute video which talks about how to create invoice efficiently and quickly. And then also, we have so augmenting teams as a primary autonomous role. So the revenue agent, so it's called Agentforce Revenue Management because it envelopes within its framework Agentforce as well. So we have these out of the box deal specialist, quote specialist, collection specialist, and self-service agent. Of course, we have to deep dive into the Agentforce area to be able to tap that. And maybe in future, we'll have those sessions. So these are some of the screenshots of how a contract looks when you create a contract. So this is a page of activated contract. And then this is a page screenshot of a quote, example of a quote. So just wanted to share. And then this is how Agentforce works with the Revenue Cloud. Like if I want to say, create a business quote based on this opportunity, starting today for 12 months, add 5 subscriptions and 1 database, summarize and open the quote. So this is how, you will create a prompt and the Agentforce would reply like, it would create this quote, right? Like in the draft status and quote line added. And then if I say apply 15% discount to the subscription line, and the agent would just say discount applied. So that's how the futuristic view, but Sunil will of course walk through all the inside view of that. There was this breaking certification news, which I wanted to share as well. And Salesforce has announced 24 certifications will retire. So if you're planning to take any certifications, keep that in mind. Some certifications are retiring, and so you'll be able to only take them for a certain time. And then it will be a part of your profile in Trailhead, but you won't be able to take it after that date, February 1, 2027. And so with this, I just pass it over to Sunil for his exciting, eye-opening presentation that I am so excited that we are doing it. So welcome, Sunil.
Can I share the screen? Can I change the screen? Can I share my screen? Hi, everybody. So I said everyone is talking a lot about Claude nowadays. I said, okay, let's talk a little bit of Claude, a little bit of Revenue Cloud, as well as the headless Salesforce too. Okay, so let me go down to. Yeah. Okay, sure. Okay. All right. Okay. So what we're talking about is what it is. Like a lot of people, many people using Claude in the room, or at least heard about Claude. So technically, a lot of people are using Claude, you see all the time, but you can actually use the same thing with other things too, but I'm taking an example of Claude for now. So this Salesforce moved on to the TD, we went to TDX, and the one approach what Salesforce is gone to be more headless. So there was the old way of doing things and the new way of doing things now, right? So the old way of doing things was like what Gomti was telling and Shiba was telling, kind of thing. Okay, you go in, you log in, you go back, you open Salesforce, that's first step. Sometimes login issues comes in, MFA issues are there. Then you click through the catalog, you try to set up the price, then you go set up a bundle. So it's like a 5-6 step process. And a lot of people, it gets too overwhelming, right? Another issue that what I see from Salesforce point of view is a lot of people are not using everything on the screen, and they say, oh my God, there's so much details out there. So, but it's all details which we have is important, right? The new way is on the right-hand side is, okay, you want to build a report, we just ask kind of chat, okay, hey, can you build a report for me, EMEA, right? Or whatever it is, right, kind of thing. So with the connection of MCP, or like you think like MCP is like a UPC, like C wire connecting it to Salesforce, you can collect anything, USB-C wire, and you can just connect everything to the Salesforce and get the information that you need, right? So code to cash, like you just saw a little bit of complexity from Gomti and Shiva, they showed you right now, is there's so many of steps involved when you do things. But as we go along, we might do a session 2 when we actually use the same thing that Gomti did today in Claude. But right now, I'm just giving you like a high-level overview as to what you can see and what you can do a little bit. So one thing that if you see the difference between the CPQ as well as the Revenue Cloud is basically the Revenue Cloud is based on the API first architecture. So you can actually pull any data, anything you want, right, from that perspective, right? So anything from the product, everything like product orders, everything is coming in from Salesforce. You can actually pull any specific thing that you want. So the way it works is you got the MCP, basically you have the Claude on one side, like this chat window. I'll just show you an example later on. And then you have the MCP server and your Revenue Cloud API is basically the Salesforce is headless on the side. So just to give you a sample of screenshots from stuff that what you can kind of do is we kind of be building something else, but again, based on headless architecture and pulling the data away. It's not using Claude, but giving you a concept is it is pulling the data from a general ledger and accounting, as well as Salesforce, as well as some additional information on top. The first slide is like executive summary kind of thing. So it's pulling the data from ARR that is coming in from Salesforce. Then you got how the ARR is progressing against the targets. That targets you can either put in Salesforce or you can put it outside. The second screenshot on the bottom is the key metrics. Hey, how I'm doing. On the right-hand side, the last column, if you want some wording, it can be using some kind of the API or with the Gemini or like Claude to like explain what the variance is and why. There's another kind of screenshot, the P&L metrics and the cash metrics. Basically, is pulling the data from, say, the accounting general ledger, some data coming in from Salesforce, and you can connect the two together too, kind of thing. You can kind of create another dashboard, something like this too. Now, going forward, Salesforce is going to announce something in December. This is kind of on the node kind of thing. You can actually have dashboards looking nice and beautiful like this within Salesforce too, because you can programmatically kind of throw any kind of code that you create. This is kind of built outside of Salesforce, but you can actually build right inside Salesforce too. There's another like a churn retention, right? Because those kind of charts and all the stuff typically will not see in Salesforce, but this is like a new way you will start seeing Salesforce when you go in the future a little bit. So I'll just walk you through as a demo a little bit video as to how do you set up the MCP. Feel free to ask me questions later on. I just, because pre-recorded it a little bit, a few minutes demo, 3 minutes demo, right? So you have to do two things. First of all is you have to go down to setup kind of thing. So let's do the demo, and you can ask questions over there, right, later
on. First step, you go down to setup, type in MCP, go to MCP servers. You need to create a new MCP server, add a new MCP server, create MCP server for Salesforce. So we say -2, and you just basically get a bot automatically set up, and you get the tools. To add the tools, you'll go over here, add tools. You can select if you want to add a flow, you want to add prompt, anything you want to add, reset password, all the stuff that you want to add up. Just say click on it and add the tool, right? So, and we just hit save. All right, so I'm not doing that part, and the number of tools added is 1. If you go to the tools, this was particularly added. Now I've created a tool already, so let's go back to the MCP servers, Salesforce servers, and this particular CapEx agent has already been set up here. Now there's a bot here. The tools are, I just picked up some standard tools just to have some SQL queries, get records, some prompts. I'm not using all, but just to show you what it is. The key thing is activated. All right, so you need to make it active. There's 6 tools, 2 prompts, and the details are over here. Next step would be to go down to the external, go to external client manager. Once I go here, you just want to create a new, go down here, set up a new. Email address is important. And you create. So once you create it, you need to go back and set up all the policies. The OAuth settings needs to be enabled, and description. So I have already created one. So let me just go back to it and just show you what it would look like. So on this agent, on the OAuth policies, no changes over here. Just like the token expires in 365 days. Go back to the settings. We have an email address and the OAuth settings over here. We need to put for Claude this callback URL in case you're trying to pull it from OpenAI or something else, different specific URLs to be put in, but we have to put this callback URL. OAuth scopes, we need to pick the 2, which is the perform request at any time and access Salesforce MCP. In addition to that, the flow enablement is nothing. In the security settings, we need to check box these 2. Require proof for code, PKCE, and the issue JSON token. Refresh token, everything is basically all no changes here. So once you hit save, you come back to this page again, and you need to go back and get the consumer key and secret. When you click on that, it will ask you to verify your email address with your code, and once you've done that, you will go back to this and you get the consumer keys. Once we have done that part, we go back to Claude. I'm using a free version of Claude. So you go to connectors. So I can add 1 connector. You need 3 things. So basically, you need a name. So I just put it as Salesforce. I need the bot that was originally that came from the MCP server, and I need the 2 keys that we set up.
All right, any questions so far on that one? Because it's pretty straightforward. I use the free version because you can have a DevOps, you can play around with it, and you can actually set it up yourself, right? Kind of thing, and play around with it too. So the same thing is based on what kind of the permissions you set. I just picked up some standard ones, like, okay, hey, just you can read the data, you can query the data, but you can also set up you can even add a flow, you can create a flow, and you can actually call the flow from Claude. All right. So over here, the advantage of this one is the Claude-like reasons. Basically the backend is all the complexity what Gomti and Shiba was talking about is there for the pricing rules, and all the stuff is done at Salesforce level. And the humans, basically you as the front end is verifying everything is okay or not okay, and if it doesn't make sense, go back again and all the fun stuff, right? Basically you can do run more analytics, because in Salesforce, a lot of data is all scattered, means it is there, but you can't really see it very easily. But you can actually, I'll show you some more examples. You can see the power of the Claude or any kind of AI tools to pull the information in. So let's do the demo for the Claude section now. So because we configured the MCP, so one thing is you have an option in Claude. Every time Claude connects to Salesforce, you can set up an option as always allow or one-time allow kind of thing, right? So So I set up an option just to on the left side of the screen. You see that every time MCP makes a query to Salesforce, it will go back. Oh, do you allow me to go back to Salesforce? Yes or no, right? So either you can enable that option, or you can say, okay, I set it up. Don't ask me again and again. Don't bother me. I trust that I set it up, kind of thing. Second thing to keep in point of view is because I connected Claude to my account, all the permissions that I have will be seen here. Means like, it's not like it maintains that role hierarchy and permissions and all the fun stuff there too. All right, so let's move to the demo. This is the, so this is the Claude backend setup, like I showed it to you, just a small screenshot here again. So this is a Salesforce, few things we need, right? So I was using a free version, so I can only add one. That's the thing, you can kind of deactivate one if you try one. On the plus sign, you just put any name. I just put Salesforce, like I showed in the demo last time. You have to have the path that will come from the MCP setup. It comes automatically when you set it up. And then all the permissions, what it can do, you can see right here, right? You would need the two keys. It's the client secret and the client, like what you get. And just, you basically need to put the path and the two secret keys, and name can be anything, doesn't make a difference, right? And basically you can go to Claude, set it up, and you can actually do that. And we'd love to hear your comments when you do it, right? And
all right, so when I go to Claude, I see this, and I was talking about the connections that we did. So we go to connectors over here. Salesforce is connected. That's where we were. Let's go back, and I want to check another one small thing. If Salesforce is kind of live, and when you go to connectors, you see Salesforce is live. You can turn it on and off as you go by. I just started a query just over here. I asked a question, what's the product sold? It doesn't understand exactly what you're talking about. You're talking about Salesforce record, what it is. I say, hey, in Salesforce, check what the last product sold. And I got some, what was sold. Okay, now I say, okay, what is the, so basically what it does is it will go back in Salesforce and check it out. What's happening, what was the order number for this particular order, right? So following details was the order was 253. This is the amount, right? So you can ask, right? So basically, you're querying Salesforce right from Claude. And if you would like to see the query, the billing address is over here, 123 Main Street. But if you want to see what exactly queries were run, it's looking for where the ID is this, and looking at the whole soccer queries right here. I tried a couple of other queries, so in the interest of time, let me just walk you through. So I asked for the top 10 accounts. It went and found the 10 top accounts for me, a little bit of blurb on what it is. I asked for the top 5 selling items, give me top 5 selling items. Then I said, okay, this is the top 5 selling items. Okay, who bought the product? And I said, okay, Acme bought all this product. Give me the details for that. The next thing was, okay, there was the top order over here. I said, okay, give me the details for this order 124. And it gave me the orders, the billing details and everything for that particular order, right? I said, hey, I would like to send an email. Can you drop me an email for this customer? So it asked me a question. Okay, why do you want to send it? It's a payment reminder or whatever it is. So let me draft it based on that, getting some context. And the email, I said, hey, just general check-in. And it just basically provided a warm check-in, a business focused, both ways, 2 versions. What I can do over here is copy it, modify it, and send it, or I can just open an email right here and send it out and redraft it there. Now, give me the 2 options, and okay, hey, go back, and there's no bill to contact. The bottom line is I just need to go back and update my Salesforce records once we take care of that. Some other use cases which I did. Let me walk you through some more complicated stuff. This is for the accountant team. So I've put a slightly bigger prompt. See, I would like to reconcile my revenue with my accounting piece of the puzzle. And I just put, okay, give me all the details of the like how do I calculate and how do I kind of reconcile my accounting with Salesforce. And this is what I got, a big prompt, whatever it is. And it gave me made me some kind of a thing. I can upload a CSV file coming in from the accounting records and do the reconciliation over here. The next thing I asked was, okay, can you build a tool to show me the ARR or the record receivable ARR for the thing? So right now it's like not fetching. I have to refresh it, but overall, you can build a tool, something like this. But okay, hey, now this is an interesting one. Can you create a record for me in Salesforce? I just put a name and say, okay, can you just do that? And say, hey, I will do it for you right now. It went and searched for the tools. Now, the interesting part is I had not given it the rights to write any records or create any records in Salesforce. And it came back with the answer, okay, hey, MCP, Salesforce MCP doesn't expose a direct create contact tool. But if I were to expose that tool with the permissions, I would be able to see that. Now, next is like, okay, the GapX agent that we had, your setup is only read-only. Now, the use case for this one would be you can give it to the accounting team, people who don't have access to the Salesforce. They have access to Salesforce to read only, but not write. Okay. Now, so we can have, if you want, you can connect another tool, which you can give the right permissions, and you can create another what's called agent, but you can give it to maybe the senior people, but the junior people, they can just have read-only access. The next thing, what we did was, okay, hey, just tell me what all you can do for me. Can you show me the list of the products? And it goes back and say, okay, yeah, I can do all these things for you. I can query and research the Salesforce data by accounts, contacts, opportunities, products. I can run a revenue reconciliation for any kind for accounting and Salesforce closed won opportunities. I can build ARR dashboards. I can actually compose emails, Slack messages, and so on and so forth, right? And I said, okay, give me all the products that we have, and basically gave me a list of all the products by the families, and you can basically all products, right, that we have in Salesforce right now. Next thing I asked was, okay, for the product core platform, okay, what are the sales for this particular product? And it basically went back to the opportunity line items. So the way we structured it, like our dummy data, we put down actually orders, not the opportunities. It could not find anything. I said, okay, go and pull the data by activated orders. And what it did was it created the whole 400 order line items for that platform, the core platform enterprise. Now the sales are there. Now the sales are constant, but I say, okay, which way you want to do it? You want to go to high, the graph changes by the account name, by the order count. So the whole thing changes the way you want to do the metrics. And this is the whole details that we have for this particular product. Next is, okay, hey, what was the average selling price? Now, the average selling price was $12,000. Median price was, that means the $15,000 is the actual selling price, and minimum price was $800. So there was maybe a super discounted deal out there. And on the maximum side was $21,600, right? So I said, okay, but there was something for $2,000, 17 orders, because it was some old promotion thing. I said, okay, hey, I would like to go back and exclude the $2,000 item out and tell me the average selling price. And I came back to the average selling price of $14,736. And if you see, all the products are right here. By the time period, so we have all the details that we want by when they were sold. You can just ask more specific pointed questions here. Next, can you give me a bell curve for this? And it gives you a nice fancy bell curve to see the sales price of this particular product. Next, I asked was, hey, please provide me the ARR, the annual recurring revenue, and the MRR, the monthly recurring revenue, based on the orders. And I got a nice fancy looking graph over here. I said, okay, hey, this looks pretty cool. I can add it to a board presentation or to my CFO, whom I want to send it to. So what I can do is, okay, hey, why don't you just create some slides for me? And basically, if we went back and forth, the way of slides you want, give a little bit of the style of slides that you want, and just created the slides for me. So these slides, basically, these are the slides that I got as a first draft. Now this is the actual revenue based on the thing, and it's all coming in from the whole overall business, with all the products that have been sold, and growth opportunities and pricing. So now you can iterate on it. So you can actually go back and say, okay, hey, what performance you want, the way you want to get the slides done. Even I upload the format, it'll give me by the corporate colors. That's another thing you can do to improve on it. All right.
All right. So I said I just recorded the demo just in case they have the internet issues over here. But how do you guys like it? And what did you have any questions on it? I know Hilde, you were like nodding your head on a few things. Did you see anything interesting there? You're on mute right now, though.
It's amazing. Like the save time, to do the PowerPoint and get the real data live. It's and the MCP have some issue to understand the plugin in the back, how it work, and seeing this presentation, I begin to understand more when I see more about MCP, because I have some issue with that.
Right.
To understand how you can plug in, and is one the big reason I wanted to watch this session, because it's complex.
Mm-hmm. It looks complex, but thing is, like I showed you the first demo, we'll be posting it anyway. So you can just basically follow instructions. It takes you less than 5 minutes to set up for the first part. Now, the only part which I had trouble, because maybe I'm using free version of Claude or whatever it is, when I put the instructions in, it did not connect. Then I left it away. After 1 hour, I came back, it was connected. So it takes some time to connect. So don't get frustrated, and wherever you do stock up, and you can ask your Claude or some other tool that you use and say, okay, hey, I'm unable to connect. This is a screenshot. What I'm doing wrong, right? What else I need to enable, right? Kind of thing. So once the connection is made, the possibilities are limitless, right? Because you can give, you saw the board slides. I saw like, hey, maybe if you do any kind of report you want, another way what you can do also in any of the AI tools, you can actually pick up a sample report that what you have seen out there, throw it in and say, I would like to see a sample like this. And I want to just like, you can actually also create corporate colors and you can throw that in. I wanted the blues, this, that, all the stuff. You can throw in a sample like a whole, your corporate style, and you can actually have everything done. So the one thing that with connection together, a few things you need to remember. With the MCP, it's just a connection, but at the same time, the permissions are still kind of retained. If you do not have permission to go and see any accounts, you will not get that information. That's one, right? The way you can also connect, like this is like a free version of Claude, so it's only one connection, but you can disconnect and reconnect. You can try with one with writing, you write with the flows, one just querying. So that's why I showed an example of the connection that was only to read only. Because, for example, you want to give it to senior managers or senior people, hey, you can query yourself. Don't even have to bother me, right? But kind of thing. So a lot of the reports that used to come from the request used to come in, you can actually pass it on to the senior people and say, don't even bother me. What report you want, just ask yourself, query yourself, do your own, right? Kind of thing. But also, it also causes more problems. Also, sometimes they say, hey, you get more questions. Okay, hey, how about this? Why this is not right? All the fun stuff too, right? Any other questions? Hey, Anandi, yeah, how are you?
Hey, Sunil, how are you? I'm good. Great presentation by you and Shiva. I have a question like, did you ever get a chance to use the Claude to create a record in Salesforce? And how do you differentiate, like for any user who creates a record, it will be like either created by, or if any user is updating the record, it will be registered as last modified by. So how do you differentiate like any record created by the AI? Like for example, here it's a Claude.
Yeah. So thing is, like it is AI. First of all, you need to understand is is the UI and the actual software, right? The Salesforce backend, right?
Yeah.
UI is what you type the data in, and Salesforce is where the record is stored, right? The backend, right?
Yeah.
Understand that, right? Kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So now, where you entering the data doesn't make a difference. You, for example, you go on Slack and say, okay, add and edit the record.
Yeah.
Also, right? It doesn't say you can always add this record was actually the UI was Slack, but
Oh.
at the end of the day, because it's you and you are the user, it's your permissions, you have access to write a record, it is
Oh.
under your name.
Oh, so basically it's going to say whoever has installed the AI, that person is going to be
So
the
don't use the word AI, you just say UI because it's just
UI.
front end, right? The
Yeah.
front end is different now, right? So now, as it's like you, tomorrow you go outside, wear a kind of coat, next you change your in a summer dress, you're still the same person, same thing, right? Same concept. Salesforce is the same. The front end has changed is like your name doesn't change every day, right? You're still the same person, right?
Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
concept is you're entering the data from Claude. You said, okay, go enter the data, you do this thing for me, but it is tagged to your name because when
Yeah.
I
It's
have the MCP server and other things, it is tied to my account.
got it.
Like if you don't have permission to actually look at some objects, you'll not be able to pull the report for those.
Got
Same,
it.
right? Same concept, right? So, but that's why you have to see, you have to give the right. Salesforce actually, it's actually very good. Like if you look at it, it's very, very important for the admins now to know
Yeah.
what permissions to give, what to hide, because you have like it can be if your org is so messed up, if anybody's org is so messed up, you give all the permissions to everybody, they can do a lot of cool stuff. Right? They can see all the records, right? They can see everything. But now you can actually do a test and see, okay, hey, if I was to log in at that person in my Claude and see, can I see all the data? Yes or no, right? So there might be some confidential data too, right? Kind of thing.
Got it. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else?
To come back to what she asked, I was thinking about like, so when you connect, because now, after 2 hours, we're getting kicked out and we need to sign in again with the report. So when you use that, so you don't have to every 2 hours to sign again. When you start the 1st of July, they're going to change the thing.
I do not know. That's like more like that's what I'm saying. There's always be Salesforce, like all enterprise software, is not exactly perfectly like there'll always be some things that you admins still have to do a lot kind of thing at the back end. So I'm not really sure about that part, but I'll have to maybe we can follow up. Well, this was just like think like this. This is like an introduction session, what you can do with Claude and other things, right? Now you got your little bit of wheel spinning, right? And I would love for you to come back again, Healthy, and you can show what you did, right? Because this is just like a starting, like like you sow a seed, you start thinking about it, and say, okay, hey, I'm sure, because that's the future of Salesforce. You can build stuff on it, right? You say what all you can do with it. Like that's why I showed you some examples right in the front of the different dashboards reports, because you're pulling the data from multiple places. In the Claude is the kind of UI, you pull the data from ERP, you pull the data from another like external source, you add a report over there, you pull the data from Salesforce. You can actually do much more deeper analysis on things rather than trying to pull all the data into spreadsheets, spend the whole day. Like now you can start thinking more strategically. Like within like a few minutes, I was able to find the average selling price. If I had to pull reports from Salesforce, it would take me a long, long time to do those things.
This is great.
Yeah. So I hope it. So what do you do? What's your background? You're an admin, Healthy?
I'm a business data analyst.
A business analyst. So basically, it's like stuff that I was doing right now is all business data analyst stuff, right?
Yeah, it's for this I'm trying to understand how the MCP is plugged in, how you can have access, and it's so complex, and I'm trying to understand how you can have access the data and you show it like here you just with the Claude, on the plugin of MCP using your permission set can have access.
Right. Cool. And that's it. Like anybody else? I don't know. It's who else is there? All right. Any other questions from anybody? I guess it's a small group today because so super hot over here kind of thing. I guess people are scared over here of the heat. All right. Anandi, I love to hear more from you when you do some more stuff with Claude Connected. And I'd love to see next time what you build with it. All right, guys. Thank you. Back to Shiva.
So thanks everyone for being here. I hope you enjoyed and it was an eye-opening. You learned something new and the scope and the amazement of these new developments that are coming up in Salesforce world. So if you did like it, please do post a post in LinkedIn and give a review, give a little summary of what you learned. It will also enhance your own visibility as well as, give some exposure to Sunil, who's prepared this and for everybody's benefit.
All right.
Yeah, and with that, have a good evening, morning, whatever time zone you guys are. So have a great one. So we had a short meeting, but it was really boiling pot, I think, for us to move forward with new ideas with headless and MCP and Salesforce. So anyone wants to add something or?
Thank you so much, Sunil, for the amazing presentation. Definitely can't wait to try that and definitely. Thank you so much.
All right, everyone, giving you some time back. So have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.